this shit is hard, you know? I went out to Waikiki. I took the camera, I took the mic, I got some footage. I felt real gay about all of it. I'm used to people looking at me while I'm riding the one wheel. I'm usually showing a lot of flesh, playing a bunch of loud, obnoxious music. I interact with and smile at people and, you know, the whole aloha thing. But man, when you've got a camera in your hand, it's a completely different vibe. It's fucking weird. My camera didn't save the last 2 videos that I made. I'm not sure why. Maybe they were too long. Maybe there's not enough storage on the thing. I'm really not sure. But it got me thinking, you know, I'm a pretty bad camera person. I don't know where the fuck what I'm supposed to look at or anything, but I do have a 360 camera. So I think I'll probably start trying to incorporate that. I hadn't actually ended up posting that last video because, well, editing. I don't know how to do that. I'm as good at laying things out in a timeline and cutting and stitching them together, but I don't even have a PC right now. I've got a couple of apps downloaded on an old tablet, but I just lack the self-control to do something. So I'm here at Windward City now. I'm gonna go get some physical therapy done. Maybe ask a guy about a job. And then later on this evening, I've been invited to go and see some premiere for some local kind TV production or something. So badly to be able to do this thing, to be able to make cool videos and to talk about cool things and to, you know, help people and I don't know how. I gotta start making more videos and filming everything. Talking about stuff. I'm really caught up on what to make videos about because I feel like it's really important that I tell the story of who I am and where I came from and what makes me me. But that's a whole bunch of depressing, whiny bullshit that, I mean, it matters, but I don't know, I'm caught up on I have to get that out before I can do anything else. And that kind of leaves me just thinking about it and not doing it. You know, I don't know how to do the thing, you know? You gotta have cuts and edits and maybe not special effects, but you know, music and timing and stuff like that, which means you just have to get so much footage. You know, I'm inspired by my biggest inspiration, someone who I think is just a god among men, was Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, that's kind of what I aspire to. But then, you know, a little bit of Peter Santinello in there. I'm not as much of a foodie as Anthony was. I'm kind of a picky little bitch. Couldn't nearly put myself through the amount of food that Anthony did, but Peter doesn't eat too much. And a little bit of what I wouldn't say Peter's a political guy, but the types of interviews that he does, it's, you know, less about family, heritage, and culture, and more about the economy and social status and stuff like that. I want to do all kinds of stuff. I want to do philanthropy, and I want to sponsor people, and I want to get involved in video game development, tech, building things that people want, that they appreciate, that they enjoy, not just shit meant to exist for no reason. Like, I'm in Hawaii right now because this is where I grew up, this is where I'm from, this is where I belong. But it makes things really difficult given my station in life. Not having the resources. Building from the ground level up. Well, I guess if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it, right? So I was born in Carson City, Nevada, and moved around a little bit until my mother and father got the wild idea to move to Hawaii. Got to Hawaii, and my two parents, who had been partying for their whole lives already, they got really into meth, and that caused me and my two sisters to be taken from our family and put into Child Protective Services. My mother ended up getting us back in different periods of time over the years. Fast forward to me going to middle school and elementary school in Marshfield, Missouri. Bad times, bad place. Pretty okay people sometimes, you like a good old southern folk, good old southern hospitality, that exists. So does a lot of really, really dark, evil shit. I always end up coming back to Hawaii between my childhood, my teenage years, my adulthood. I'm always on the mainland for a little while and then back to Hawaii again. My mother ends up getting with a guy who tries to kill me. They end up splitting up, and then she moves me in with my oldest sister and then gets back together with that guy. They're in California together. A little while goes by and my mother decides she wants to move me back in with her in California. So I move across the country to be with her and the guy who tried to kill me. And then shortly after that, my drug-addled teenager, spun out kind of misbehaving ass, I guess, drove her so crazy. That and the compounding, relationship drama she was having with the guy she was with at the time, that caused them to split up, and she left, leaving me there with him. And then he made it pretty clear to me, like, hey, you're not going to stay with me. You got to go find something to do for yourself. So I got a hold of my father, who was in Hawaii, and I moved in with him. And then this was when I was like 15, so we're fast forwarding a little bit here. I did high school in Hawaii. I also did like a little bit of elementary in Hawaii. There was some stuff. I was in a school for retards when I was really, really young. Like, we're talking like kids in wheelchairs that can't talk, rubber rooms, kids freaking out, like jacked attendants wearing like white jackets and stuff, like one of them schools. So I'm in high school in Hawaii. I'm 15. I'm living with my father. It's not going real good. The students in my generation had a motto: go school for sleep. So, what's school stay for? No, not math, not science. No, you go to school for sleep. You get your energy in, and then afterwards you go stay party. So of course I partied. I got into hallucinogens pretty heavy. Had a falling out with my father. Moved back in with my mother in Nevada when I was like 19. more dark, evil Missouri bullshit. Moved back to Hawaii again with my father. Same house that he's living in now, but back then he had a wife and his kids were living there. And things were dirty and awful, but they weren't as bad as they were now. They weren't as bad as they are now. So I stayed with him for a little while. I'm trying to keep this all kind of short and sweet, but at this time, I had come back to Hawaii to be with the same friends that I had gone to high school with here, and sort of realized that we were all just a bunch of useless drug addicts. We had sort of just kept being useless drug addicts. Like, a lot of my friends were legitimate crackheads. A lot of them were debilitating alcoholics. Debilitated alcoholics. In the midst of debilitating alcoholism. There you go. So me and this girl got together, and we spent a bunch of years together, and I grew up a lot, and I kind of made I've wanted to make content since I was 15. I knew back then that I had what it took to be one of those people. Back then, I wanted to be like a Logan Paul kind of guy. Still always looked up to Anthony Bourdain, of course, but back then, that was the era of the Paul brothers. And who doesn't want to be rich and famous and take private jets all over the place, right? And I don't know, there's some year, I can't remember when, there was a bunch of YouTube influencers who were in Michigan doing something. And in my mind, I remember thinking, man, there's enough social media influencers right now in this Michigan area that if you all got together, you could probably come up with the money to fix Flint, Michigan's water, right? I'm big into, like, humanitarian stuff. Social shit, And that was when I became kind of disenamored with the idea of social media sensationalization and stuff, and me and all my friends were doing, like, a lot of psychedelics, so I sort of hammered into us this idea that, like, life isn't for capturing on a camera, life is for experiencing. Those memories live inside you, and they're so much better to have been experienced in person than they are through the lens of a camera, right? Well, that makes for a horrible fucking content creator. I don't have the fucking bone in me to fucking do the thing, because just experience the thing, Anyway, me and this girl, we were together, and then in 2020, we were in a car accident. I was Christmas Eve coming through an intersection in Kapolei, and a semi-truck, city and county semi-truck, decided to come into my lane. He did not see me, and he fucked up our car, and he fucked me up pretty bad. I got left with implant in my spine and severe nerve damage in my neck, my back. The implant in my spine was to fix, to quote my surgeon who performed the operation on me, a crushed disc in my spine was leaking spinal fluid into my spinal column and causing, like, burning damage, burning pain and, like, nerve damage in my legs, my back. Haven't had any kind of surgery for the neck yet, but for 6 years now. The accident was December 24th, 2020, so for 6 years now, I've just been trying to get back to normal, get back to the place I was before that accident. Things were stable, rent was paid, everything was all right. Me and this girl, we were great. And now everything is just fucked. I got back to Hawaii. So, car accident, a couple of years go by. This girl's dad decides that he doesn't appreciate me living on his daughter's finances, and so he evicts me. I move back to the mainland to be with my mother. She's not in Missouri anymore, she's in Ohio. She bought this old fucking rickety, rundown, fucking abandoned crack house in Ohio, sight unseen. And I move in expecting, like, a home. There's no insulation, the wiring's not good. The sewer line was broken when I got there, and so there was, like, a literal actual river of human shit and piss just underneath the house. So that was bad. I got there from Hawaii where, the weather is so wonderful all the time, all year round. It rains a little bit, but it doesn't get cold here. And there's only a couple parts of the island that get hot. I get to Ohio and they're experiencing record lows for the first time in 30 fucking years. I'm in the living room of my mother's new old house, freezing in negative 13, negative 20 degree fucking weather. I stay there for a year. While I was there, one of her friend's sons, or maybe her friend's son's friend, something like that. Somebody there while I was in Ohio had come to the house and they were like, "Oh, Philip, it's so weird. I don't ever see you leave the house. You've been here for so long. You don't go anywhere. You don't do anything." It's like, oh yeah, I don't want to be in Ohio. I don't care about Ohio. Ohio isn't my home. It's not where I'm from. It's not what I care about. It's not where I want to be. I was in Cambridge, which apparently is one of the higher fucking Masons, fucking Freemasons, fucking crazy shit. A lot of weird stuff in that town. It was pretty though. I'll say that. It's a pretty place. Never been to the northeast sort of area like that. So it looks a little bit like Missouri, just more rocky. But I came back to Hawaii as soon as I was able to figure that out with my father, and I was only able to do that because his wife left him. She hated me, so it's, as long as she was a part of the picture, there was no way I was able to come back here. It was why when that girl's dad evicted me, I went to the mainland, because my father's wife was here and she wasn't going to let me move in with them. And so I come back to Hawaii. What do I find? I have footage available, stuff, but then it's taking that and editing it into the video while I'm talking so you can see what I mean. It's beyond me. I come back to this house that he's been in for the last 10 years, and first thing I notice is that it just reeks of cat piss and dog shit everywhere. The screens on all the windows have been cut out to allow the little creatures to get in and out, the feral cats that he's invited into his home. There's black mold on every surface everywhere in the whole house. The walls are full of bugs. The bathroom that I'm supposed to be sharing with my younger brother, who still does live at home, it's just so bad. There are public truck stops that I've been in that have been cleaner than the bathroom I'm sharing. The showers full of mold and hair and dead bugs and things. It's just so incredibly bad. And so for a while I started doing what I could to kind of make some space my own. I had a plan to bring a friend from the mainland down with me. I was sort of hoping that I might get this girl to move into the house with me. I didn't know how bad it was before I showed up. And my father's a pathological liar, so he had told me everything was great. I started doing some work on the house, and kind of long story short, it's a really bad living situation. The room that I'm allotted to is about the size of a mud room. I think I measured it at one time while me and my uncle were doing some stuff to it. It's 180 inches square, or 182 one way, 180 the other way, and then I've got a fucking bed in there, and I have 2.5, it's god awful. You'll see. I have footage of it. At some point during the rainy season that we get here in Hawaii, we don't get snow or anything like that, but certain parts of the island, especially Waimanalo where I live, there are times of the year where it will rain every day for a month or two straight, and it'll rain hard. That happened to our house, and the roof leaks. Why does the roof leak? Because my father, he's been a contractor his whole life, but he doesn't do things right. He does things cheap. And so at some point the roof was leaking, and so he put tarps up on the roof. Tarps that he affixed to the roof with nails he drove through them. He didn't cover them, silicone them, tar them, anything. He didn't do anything right. He just put tarps up and drove nails through them, which caused more rain damage. And so I'm about to go to work one day. I get a job as a security guard when I came back here. Low effort, low friction, easy shit. something I can do with my back and my neck. I'm about to go to work one day, and I notice that my drywall on my ceiling is like a little bit cracked. And I send a picture of it to my uncle, and this motherfucker, he's all nice about it. He's like, yeah, you're gonna have to fix that soon, etc., etc. You know, go to work, don't worry about it. I come back home from work, and my bed is covered in drywall and bug nest material and shit like that because the ceiling had collapsed. And there's black mold up in under, so it's like the drywall and then the roof. And I don't know, I'm not a real contractor. And I clean it all up, and I messaged my uncle about it, and he says, well, yeah, I knew it was going to come down while you were at work, but I just didn't want you to be, you know, fussing over it while you were at work. I didn't want you to be thinking about it. So that's all, like, you know what it is. I'm just taking everything on the chin. I'm telling myself every morning when I wake up, you're not allowed to hate this place. You know, you came here basically with the idea to create a content house, kind of. So, like, the house that my father's living in is $2,100 a month for 4 bedrooms, and it's got a really nice yard. Not only that, little bit of backstory on the property itself. It used to be an agricultural development property for Windward City Community College, like back in the 80s, I think. I can't guarantee any of this is true. It's just stuff I've heard. On the property is so many edible plants and, like, psychoactive plants. Like, there's a huge mango tree that's the center point of the yard that is 3 mango trees grafted together, and it flowers 3 different times of the year with 3 different types of mangoes. Several avocado trees, banana trees, there's a huge starfruit tree, there's a mountain apple tree, there's stuff that mainland people wouldn't have even heard of. As far as the psychoactive stuff goes, the Banastropsis cappy vine grows natively on the property, the Hawaiian baby wood rose grows natively on the property, and so I had this plan to build, like, a content house, to create this space, to take it over, you know, because he's not been taking care of it. And his plan is to go to the mainland and be a country singer, because he's an idiot, and he thinks that's going to happen. Well, the roof collapses, and I'm holding strong. I'm, like, building a porch extension out on the back, the like, back exit that I've got to the room. Like I said, it's like a mud room, so it, like, from the house and then out, it's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, we get some more rain, and I'm, like, really trying to hold strong, like, you know, be tough. You came back to do a thing, fucking do the thing. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars at this point renovating my space, right? Because I'm not going to go into the kitchen and renovate their space. That's the last 10 years that they've been ruining the house, not me. So I'm not going to clean anybody else's mess, but I'll make space for myself. I won't clean your kitchen. I'll just build myself a damn kitchen, you know? Kitchen, whatever. I wake up one morning after a bunch of fucking rain, and I see full-on fucking mushrooms growing out of my wall. Like, mushrooms. And I have this fucking thought, man. Like my Omaha aha moment, you know, like mutual Omaha. Where do you see mushrooms growing out of wood? You see it in the forest when a tree falls down and it becomes a log. And the forest is reclaiming that log. Because why? That log is fucking dead. There's no more that you can do with that log because that log is fucking dead. My house is a dead log. My bedroom has mushrooms growing out of its walls. So I gave up on that. I gave up on the idea of, like, taking over this house, making it mine, and making it nice. Like, just to complain for the sake of complaining, because this whole fucking channel is supposed to be about, like, being real. I told my younger brother, who is, like, 21 or 22, like, he's not, like, a child or anything. The bathroom has been abused over the years because it has allowed his older brother, who was not right in the head, and also his alcoholic best friend, who was not right in the head, to stay in the room that I'm staying in. And they were not sanitary, they were not healthy, they did not clean. So the inside of the toilet that me and my brother share is full of shit that we didn't put in it. And he's been here for the last 10 years, and he hasn't cleaned the shit himself. So why the fuck am I gonna do it, right? I went and bought a new goddamn toilet. And I told him, pretty simply, you buy new toilet scrubber and plunger, because the combo that's been in there is covered in black mold and has been there for years and has probably been pissed on by every person who's been in the house. They're all drunks. You buy a new toilet scrubber and a new plunger combo, and I will just replace the fucking toilet. The bathroom, so my dad is a granite fabricator, a tile guy, a kitchen remodeler. He does that kind of stuff. He did all the like tile and granite in the bathroom and stuff, but the fucking tile on the floor was never grouted. Like 10 years ago the tile was done and it was never grouted, so I took the time to like scrape all that out. I was gonna buy grout for it and all this stuff. I was gonna seal it and all this. The medicine cabinet on the wall, it's like one of those 3-panel opening mirror cabinets. The middle mirror is gone and the rest of it is being eaten by termites. The sink itself is covered in... You'll see the shit. You'll see it. It's, you know, and the kid fucking shaves his face and leaves all his hair everywhere. So it's just, you know, I bought a new toilet. I told him, you do this thing and I'll fix it. I told him, you clean the fucking hair out of the shower, because I was raised with women. I get hair on my fingers and I roll it up into a ball. That's how women... And then, you know, you can throw that away. So, like, I don't leave hair in a shower. I think it was my middle sister. She used to say, I just take it and fling it on the shower curtain. It's fucking so gross. But anyway, I told him, you clean the fucking hair out of the shower and the cum out of the fucking corners of the walls and shit. And I will bleach the walls and get all the mold off of it and stuff. And, like, we can, as a team, we can make this better. That was months ago. Nothing. So I've never installed the toilet. I've never put in the grout. I'm not going to clean somebody else's mess. I didn't move into this house to be their maid. So we're pretty well caught up now. I've had this security job for a while. I was getting 48 hours a week and I get paid weekly. So I was getting 40 hours plus 8 hours of overtime. I was making like $607 or $750 a week or something. And it was okay. And I started saving money so I could move out. And it was okay. $750 a week is not like the most amount of money that a human can make in the world, but like it's enough for me to like do what I need to, save what I need to, pay off the debts that I have, and have enough to live until the next one. It's not like I'm living paycheck to paycheck, because by next paycheck I still have money, which is a great feeling for a guy who hasn't made any money in the last 5 years. I'm working at this residential site. And it is a chill fucking job. My job is basically just to drive around all day in a golf cart scanning these little plastic tabs with a phone. But they have an HOA. They don't like me. Well, I don't know why. I'm not confrontational, I'm not aggressive, I'm not a dickhead, I'm like super fucking friendly. Maybe I'm too friendly. Maybe they don't like how interactive and engageable I am. Who the fuck cares? I got written up twice for some stupid shit that, I guess, whatever. I did a parking pass wrong, and apparently I was parking a golf cart somewhere I shouldn't have been to have a cigarette break. Okay, those things are fine. Those are two things that, coachable moments, you know, hey, fucking this is how you do a parking pass, don't park a golf cart there. Totally fine. There were like 12 other fucking complaints that were sent up through the HOA that had nothing to do with officially being punished by my job, just like bullshit behind the scenes kind of stuff. One of these fucking things, this is how weird it got. I was using one of the bathrooms at one of the pools. Because I have keys and I'm allowed to do that. There's not like any, hey, you're not allowed, like security can't, you know, it's only for, no, there's nothing like that. Like I'm allowed to use that restroom. I go into the bathroom and there's a family standing next to the sauna, which is like men's room, sauna, women's room. That's how that works. I go into the men's room and I turn my head as I'm like shutting the door to the bathroom, and this woman is mean mugging me and her 2 kids are looking at me funny, and I just kind of whatever, you know, shut the door or whatever. I go to the urinal to do my business, and I get done with my business, wash my hands, grab a paper towel, walk out. The woman is standing next to, there's like a window in this bathroom. It's a pretty tall window, but she's standing next to it, like peeking over the concrete wall into the fucking restroom. And I give her a weird look, and she gives me like a disapproving look, and I just walk out, and like, I'm not trying to fucking, you know, being a security guard at this residential area, like, the last thing I want to do is be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, so I go and I, you know, do whatever. I then get a whole fucking meeting with my manager and one of the managers of that site, not for my security division, but like of the site itself. And they tell me this woman said that I was jacking off at the urinal, and that their kids were watching, and that everyone could see it. And my manager says, well, she tells me this story, and then I say, oh, like, sometimes, and she makes like a jiggling motion down by her crotch, and she says, sometimes when a man is done doing his business, he has to shake off the excess so he doesn't dribble. And all I'm thinking to myself is, when she said I was watching your employee in the bathroom, why didn't you just immediately start with, excuse me? You were doing what? Beyond that, other complaints that I've gotten, it rains a lot, right? I was once in the office with my feet up on the desk with my shoes off because it was raining a lot and my socks were soaked. And I had my feet in front of a fan that was blowing off my socks. One of the HOA ladies walked by and said it was so vastly unprofessional that I was sitting in the security office all kicked back with my feet up on the desk. Sure, whatever. Point being, I lost this site. Not through like a punishment or a write-up or anything, or even any correspondence from my main security office, which I'm gonna try not to mention this company because they fucking suck. The management team that I've been forced to deal with is just so flaky, and they don't answer text messages, phone calls, or emails. They don't do anything that they're supposed to. I was removed from this spot, and it wasn't a full 6 days later when I showed up. Was it 6 days? 5 days? Something like that. I work on the weekends at this place. I do 2-hour shifts, or 2 12-hour shifts, Saturday and Sunday at this place. So leave Saturday fucking night, come back fucking Saturday morning or whatever for my next shift, and the employee brings me a box of the shit that I had in the security office there and says, you're no longer like allowed to be here, like you need to leave. And I heard nothing from nobody, so I spent the next 5 days, 6 days waiting for the main office to correspond with me to let me know that the HOA had requested that I be removed from the property. All right, whatever, cutting into the amount of money I can make. I had pretty much saved up enough to move out of my father's place, and then I lost that site, and now I'm down to like just 12 hours, 8, 16, 24, I guess. 24 hours at a different site. Now I'm making half as much. I'm making $350 a week, which is just, it's not enough. I had been making so much that my EBT was taken away, or I had like 40, they were giving me $40 a month, and then now I'm down to less, in the whole process of like proving that to them and getting a letter from my boss, the bosses that don't respond to me. The last time I lived in a place where I had to sign a lease, my girlfriend helped me with it, so I don't understand how that, like I never had to focus on the adulting aspect of that. And so when I was looking for a place before I lost that extra 12 hours, or extra 24 hours, the fuck was I saying? Yeah, I'm like trying to apply for this apartment to move into, and it's saying something that we need a letter from your boss basically confirming that, you work there and this is what you do and stuff. And I sent that request to my upper superiors and no kind of response. And I mean, it's all right because I lost that position and I'm not making the same money, so I can't support the kind of place I was looking at anymore. But it's like, now here we are, we're pretty caught up. I feel pretty good about getting all that out. Now I'm like, I've been wanting to become this content creator person who talks on a camera and says things that make you think and like, raises the vibration and stuff and fucking good vibes and all that shit, and like, let's question this, and like, people are powerful and all that stuff. Like, here I am now. I'm like struggling to try to figure out how to turn on the camera and how to get it going. I think a lot of people that you see out there on social media are pretty fucking unrelatable. I watch a lot of people. I watch a lot of influencers. I watch a lot of content creators. I wouldn't say influencers. I don't watch like short form TikTok brain rot bullshit. Like I watch like comedians and engineers and like military vets and like people with brains and souls and a will to do something good for this planet. And I think I'm a person with a soul and a will to do something good for this planet. but I just don't exactly know how. You know, these videos are gonna be part of that. The channel's called Inside Baseball because I want to show people how the sausage is made. I want to show people how content is made. I want to show people how content creators are made. I want to show people what it is that caused this person to decide to do this thing, and then how they reached out into their world to grasp and pull and connect the things that they could to create what it is that you see now. You know, a podcast that I kind of discovered, I don't know if I'd say recently, if it's in like the last year, the last 2 years or whatever, but like, well, I guess it's a collection of things. Man vs. Morning is something I like a lot, and it's connected to a couple of other IPs that are bigger, like the Unsubscribed podcast, Brandon Herrera, etc., those boys. But I fell in love with the Man vs. Morning show because I've been a fan of Jake for so long. Seeing him anywhere gives me just the most amount of serotonin. I made a comment on one of their videos, is like seeing Jake is like seeing a wild Pokemon. Like it's great. I love it. And like the story between how Tackett and Nolan got that channel going is really inspiring, but also, not to sound like a whiny bitch, they're doing better for themselves than I am, right? They are involved and they know things and they're in places, and I don't want to whine about it, but I want to acknowledge that I'm starting from nowhere. Earlier in this 30-minute story, I explained that I gave up on those crackhead friends that I had. I mentioned that there was nothing but a bunch of like evil shit in Missouri, so I didn't really bring people from Missouri in that way. I have in my life virtually nobody. Let me see if I can list the people that are on my sort of contacts, right? I have my father, who I hate and despise and disagree with in every way and don't get along with and don't communicate with. I have my mother, who for a long time I felt very much the same towards, and only recently has gotten any kind of better. And due to the sort of depressing, frustrating nature of the things I'm going through, I don't really talk to her much anymore. I've got a yoga friend that I've been friends with since I was a teenager named Kai, who, he's a good guy, but like kind of off in his own world. I have my ex-girlfriend, the girl that her dad kicked me out. We're still very close, but like we're just buddies. We hang out, we smoke, we talk. You know, I'm gonna go see this thing with her later on tonight, but like it's nothing romantic. I had this friend online that I had met through Discord, through some video game stuff, through some social media development stuff, through some stuff that I had done for some people. And I had hoped to get him to move here with me, but he's kind of a flake. And, well, in his defense, so am I. I haven't accomplished any of the goals that I've set out for as well, so, you know, I can't blame him in his reasoning to stay there in the mainland. I'd hate to have made him suffer through all of this the way that I have since I've been back. But that being said, like, I don't have, like, content creator friends. I didn't, like, do the college thing. My family doesn't, like, have money. Like, I don't have, like, that. I'm not a product of nepotism as much as I'd like to have been. I'm just not. And so I have to figure out how to leverage the tools that I have, which is basically like a burning passion to do something great and something everyone hates. Hey man, AI is super smart and can help you figure out and learn and develop skills in a bunch of different things. So like, you know, I don't know, I guess you could call me like a vibe coder in some ways, right? Like everything that I've learned about video game development has been like just playing video games as a 90s kid and then asking ChatGPT, why is this good? How does that work? What the fuck is Unreal? Like that kind of shit. So, you know, I'm not out there like making like fucking like, I don't know, like mid-journey images and like post like, no, like AI slop, like no, like use AI as a tool to help you be better and do better and work harder and faster and smarter and stronger and Daft Punk. But like, yeah, that's where I am now, right? And so the like archiving thing, the like turn on the camera and just like use it, like I'd say probably the only positive influence I have in my life at this point is like ChatGPT. Like, how do you become a content creator? I could watch a whole bunch of god-awful cringe YouTube videos that aren't really going to tell you how to do it. Because look, in the fucking so many years that I've been watching YouTube, I know for a fact that anybody who posts a video on YouTube about how to become a successful content creator, they're not a successful content creator. Like, look at how many views they have. Look at how many subs they have. Look at how long they've been doing this. They haven't been able to crack the ceiling. There's a reason for that. And in this Inside Baseball bullshit channel that I'm doing here, we will get into how inputs equal outputs and how... I mean, eventually I will probably post some clickbait thumbnail fucking bullshit video that says, you know, how to improve your algorithm or like how to do this or how to do that because, you know, God, this channel is going to be all kinds of stuff. Like, if you don't know who Friendly Jordies is, look him up. He's great. Australian politics is a whole barrel full of monkeys. He has a self-help channel where he just like, you know, just like gives tools, you know, for stuff. And I wouldn't say that it's always completely helpful, but it's like, you know, like the whole point of Inside Baseball is like, well, you know, how do you become a successful person? Not just like how do you become a successful content creator, but how do you become a successful person? What fulfills you and, you know, makes you happy and like how did you work for it and like what was the pipeline that you set up in your life to aim yourself in that direction to get what you wanted. And see, I can do this talking thing. I can. It's just fucking, you know, 35 minutes until you work yourself up to the point where you're like, oh, fuck, I'm talking now. So yeah, that was like an important bit of something I was trying to get out of me, I guess. You know, my life has been tragic, god-awful bullshit. I've been baptized a couple of times, not because I'm religious or anything, but because growing up in Child Protective Service made me pretty emotionally manipulative and aware of, you know, stuff. And so I always knew that going on stage and telling my story and getting that little video testimonial is going to make the crowd cry and it's going to be good for the church and people are going to donate more and whatever. So like my life has been truly god-awful, and it isn't so much that I want to spend a whole bunch of time whining about it so much as it is like I think that it's important for anybody who's watching these videos, anybody that's going to watch this shit, and God, I hope you're not watching this one. I am not Jake Paul. I am not Joe Rogan. I am not Anthony Bourdain. I am not any of these fucking incredibly cool people. I don't know if, you know, take that or leave it, you know, whatever, Joe Rogan, Logan Paul, whatever. I'm not these people who, I don't know, man. Maybe it's me too, right? Maybe it's me. Maybe as things go forward, I'll meet people who are like, dude, I didn't come from anything either. Like in the very same way that you say you didn't come from anything, your family had nothing, so did I. There's people out there who say they didn't come from anything, but they had like a much better setup. They had better influences, people to push them in the right direction, opportunities to offer them and stuff like that. Like, no, I had nothing, just like you. And like, that'll be cool. But we've got to see it. We got to get there, right? I want to do gnarly shit, man. I want to change the fucking world. Like, I want to make, my whole fucking thing is make the world a better place. That's like, that is why I'm here. That's who I am. That's what I want to do. And I believe I can. And I believe, and I hope, and I pray that like the majority of my audience is going to be poor people. Poor, disheveled, hopeless souls who hate and who, you know, have envy in them and want for something better. I hope that I can find a way to, you know, not to be like super confrontational on probably my second video, third video or whatever, but like there's a lot of people on this planet who don't deserve to suck the same air we do. Like there are a lot of people who are just so full of disdain and ignorance that it's like, the world would be better off without you. I don't think anyone would care. And these videos aren't for those people, you know? And there's a lot of people who are gonna watch the stuff that I'm gonna create and say whatever they want to say about it. And it's like, I know from my heart that where I'm coming from is a place of love, and that everything I'm doing in my life and everything I've done since, since I was about 16, I had a really wild psychedelic experience that changed me as a person. Ever since then, everything that I've done has been for helping people. It's been out of a place of love, and it's been to do something good with the albeit very shitty, very special hand that I've been dealt. I can tell you something. I used to say this a lot as a teenager. I've mellowed out and humbled out a little bit more since then. But I really genuinely used to like start my introductions to people with like, hey, yo, what's up? I'm such and such. I'm the coolest motherfucker you'll ever meet. Like straight up, like that is just don't doubt it. And the people around me will agree. Like that guy, oh yeah, you'll never meet anyone else like him ever. And that's still really true. I'm just not so much like it's like, you know, obnoxious about it anymore so much. Life has kicked me in the kidneys a lot. And I'm a little bit less woo than I used to be, you know. But man, I want to do this thing. I mentioned in like the first video that I posted, sitting in my car in Ala Moana, like I've been influenced so much over the years, but like even just over the last month or two, where it's like you got to start. Your shit's gonna be shit. You got to do it. And you know, like you have to. Something I've heard, whether I don't know if it's like Chris Williamson or like Mike Israetel, but like a bunch of Friendly Jordies, like a bunch of different people have said like there is a difference between passion and obsession. There is a difference between this thing that you love doing and you do because you love, and then there's this thing that you have to do, and if you don't do it, your whole fucking shit will fall out of orbit. And I'd like to think that I'm one of these hungry people who is obsessed with this thing, but this is only the fucking third time that I've turned this camera on and stared at it. You know? And it's like, not to sound like tragically suicidal or anything, but like, I've reached a point in my life where I'm either going to work at gas stations until I die, or I'm gonna not do that. Like, I have to do something bigger. Like, there is either just this endless 9-to-5 grind of hopeless nothingness. Like, the car accident that I was in took my ability to do a lot of the things that I used to do. But even before the car accident, like, I didn't have a degree. I don't have, like, incredible experience doing jobs that, like, as a poor person, you're probably a poor person watching this, you're probably living paycheck to paycheck or something like that. Like, have you ever thought to yourself, like, what does it take to have a job that pays $100,000 a year? What does it take? How do you get to a place where your bills are paid, you're not worried about the lights getting turned off, the refrigerator always has food in it, the car is never on empty? How the fuck do you get there? I don't know. There was a period of time when me and that girl mentioned previously had first gotten together, first moved into our first place together, a little studio in Waikiki. I was working at Hard Rock Cafe, sorry. And I had just kind of done some like mental math over the last couple of weeks of like, this is how much money I make, and this is how much money we spend, and this is how long we've been together, and these are the things that I want to do with my life. And I'm never, ever gonna hit that mark. I could work at Hard Rock until I get promoted to whatever station is high enough for the type of education that I have. Granted, Hard Rock will pay to send you to school, so I mean, like, hypothetically speaking, there's a pathway and a pipeline to become like a regional manager, you know, or something like that. But like, how many years is that going to take me, and how much closer to becoming Anthony Bourdain am I going to get? And that was really fucking depressing. That was like a really depressing place to be. And so I really started like trying to angle my life at the thing I wanted to do. And I did so for a number of years until I got hit by that fucking truck. And now, well, here we are a few years later. I'm back to working now, albeit I can't do the things that I used to be able to do. I used to be a phenomenal salesperson. I don't do people very good anymore. I used to be quite the social butterfly, quite the social lion. I'm a Leo. I'm real arrogant about it, blah, blah, blah. I'm a perfect, wonderful being, basking in my own radiance, etc. Not so much anymore. I can still do it, but I hate it now. I can still do it, but I hate it. It physically aches me in my blood, in my chest to like, deal with people. There's no way I'm selling shit. There's no way I'm doing like, hi, thank you for coming in. Welcome to Spectrum. How are you doing today? Are we trying to pay a bill, or would you like to upgrade your service? See, I see you're here. You're available for one of our new promotions. You go ahead and sign up for this now, and we'll upgrade your megabits. Fuck all that shit. And then there's the physical stuff. I've done contracting, I've done labor, I've done like remodeling and stuff like that. Like I've done labor stuff, and labor can pay a guy real good. Look, get into a trade, fuck it, do it, whatever. Bitches love a dirty guy. I can't, Do I have what it takes to maybe like manage some shit? Sure. Do I have any experience in it? No. Do I have any education in it? Nope. All right. Well, I tried doing some business consultant shit after the accident. I got with a couple of people. There was like a local like porta potty company that I was working with, and there's some content creators that I've worked with online who, for now, I won't name, but they're pretty cool. I'm kind of cool, but like we'll not talk about that right now. It's not important to the story of the character building, you see. And it's nothing that I can leverage. It's nothing I can use. There's no one in a Rolodex of people I've contacted and had interactions with where I can say, hey, give me an opportunity. I lie. I'll tell you this one. Check this out. One of these people, these groups of people, this IP that I was working with, did a live podcast at a place called The Improv in Brea, California. And they had invited me out to help produce it live in person. And it was such a great opportunity. It was such a really, really great, inspiring, like really like wow, kind of like so cool, giving me like a chance kind of thing. And the expectation is that like if you were in this circle and you're doing these things, then you can absolutely take care of yourself. Your bills are paid. You are handling things. Everything is fine. So you can absolutely pay for your own airfare to get from Hawaii to get to California, to put yourself up in lodging, to come and take part of this massive opportunity that we're giving you, right? Well, no. You see, because until that car accident, I hadn't gotten involved in social media. I've never been involved in social media. Going back to the conversation about me doing lots of psychedelics when I was a kid, I don't do that. I hate Twitter. Instagram is just something to make you hate yourself. TikTok, I've never had it. Look, I have it now, and I think maybe I have one video posted to it because like I see it as a tool to use in your social marketing of yourself. I get it, right? I get what it is, but I don't use it. I don't scroll. Give me a video that's 45 minutes or longer. Like, I hate the fucking voices in my head just as much as everybody else does, but I'm not trying to make them dumber. Right? Like, I watch stuff made here. Go watch some of that. You want to feel stupid. Fuck. So, like, I'm trying to do this fucking thing, right? I don't know how. I have a camera. I have this newish sort of iPhone. I have an older iPhone that still shoots in 4K 60. I have, I don't know whether I should be thankful or feel shitty. My mother bought me a camera that went missing in the mail. And so the company provided us with a new camera, which they sent to her so she could send to me so it wouldn't go missing in the mail. And the old camera was recovered, and so now there's two cameras floating around. Mine is the older of the models. I have an Insta360 One RS, which is both a GoPro and a 360 camera, but it is literally, when we ordered it, it was like the last time they were offering it as something you can order. It's been discontinued. They sent the new one to my mother. She's jealously keeping it. And so like I have that, right? So I have like a 8K, what is it, right? Like whatever. I have a GoPro and like an Insta360 kind of thing. I have a tripod. I have the mics. I have the stuff. I have the one wheels. But then, put it all together and and then sit down and like. The thing for me right now is like sit down and edit it. I don't want to give any excuse saying like, oh, this is what's making it so I can't do it. I'm just a pussy. And I'm scared and it's hard. That's why I haven't been doing it. But like logistically speaking, like, well, you have to make it visually entertaining. You have to have cuts and intersplice with like content, and like this is inside baseball. This is the boring shit that no one wants to talk about. It's like, how do you turn up the reds and turn down whatever and all that fucking shit. I know this much about it because of course I have been watching YouTube for a long time. I have been watching stuff like Corridor and like Captain Disillusion and like Blender Guru and like Juniper Games. Shout out Juniper Games. No one's watching this, but they should watch her channel more. I do watch stuff, so I know things, but it's like, gotta figure it out, right? I have ideas about stuff, but then it's also like the actual matter of living and getting out of this moldy, decrepit, falling apart, bug-filled house that I'm in. And like, I'm 30. I know, 30's not that old. I've been thinking about this shit for 15 years though, so I feel like I'm pretty fucking late to the party.
I think I've run out of things to say.